Hello fellow sim racers, this is Sim Racer and welcome to another sim racing video. This time we are doing a fixed Dallara IndyCar race at Indianapolis. It was a 22 car field and I started in position number 18 as a competitor on the first lap loses, and that was close. And I'm not sure what this guy is doing. He apparently lost it coming off of, I believe, turn 3. So lap 1 not yet in the books. We hit the pits. So one of the things about iRacing and the fact that it has such a saturation of series, oftentimes it's difficult to find a race that goes official. That's not the case with the fixed Dallara IndyCar series. I don't know how many races a day go official, but quite a few. I generally will run the late afternoon or afternoon race as we are back up to speed in this race. Now this race took a little over 53 minutes. This video is not 53 minutes long, it's just a little over 8 minutes, as basically it's a highlight of my race. One of the things that I do enjoy is running this series, and it fits my lack of skill, and I've developed a strategy where I try and start as far back as possible. Oh, here we go again. Another caution, and apparently the two cars that I was following didn't see the caution sign, because certainly one of them plowed into the stalled cars, and that probably ruined somebody's race. So back into the pits we go, and we'll head back out onto the track for another restart. And as I was saying, I enjoy this series. I find it rather relaxing. Every once in a while, such as this race, I might get, in this case it was a top 5 finish. Sometimes I'll run, in the top 10, and a couple of times I've ran second and third. Don't think I've ever won one yet. Yeah, and it's just an enjoyable series to do, an enjoyable series to run. And my strategy is to start in the back of the field and just to let all of the chaos and the turmoil happen. And then my goal is to stay on the lead lap, such as what I was able to achieve in this race being 50 laps. And had a lot of fun with it. It's just a good series to run, and as I said, there's always a high level of participation, and you're almost always guaranteed of finding a race to race in. One thing about the Dallara, when they came out with the new one and they put this halo on, I don't like the halo. It's a vision impairment, and sometimes when you're coming up onto a car, and I'm going to let Mr. Speedster go by here, because again I'm just riding, as there's going to be some more cautions in this race, which attrition will remove probably half the field in this particular race, and several of the cautions cycled some of the remaining running cars to anywhere from a lap to 3 laps down. And that little swing right there, that was kind of for me to be able to see if I could get a judgment on where the yellow car was, how far it was ahead of me, and certainly didn't want to find myself running over that car. So one thing about iRacing that it does do that, and here we are, as I said, we truncated this race. Here we've jumped forward 7 caution-free laps, which was pretty good. We're going to run about 8 laps here as we just, the yellow car, I actually followed him right around that stalled car, which brought out a caution. And things certainly can happen quick at 200 plus miles an hour. And and notice the green car on the right side. He slammed on the brakes and then he darts into the pits. Now he and I are going to tangle on pit row and get hooked up, and I get into my pit box, and pit gets done. It's over. I get the signal to leave, and the car won't go. You can hear it. It's just like it's not engaged and not in gear. So I kept pushing off and pushing on the pit limiter, and I thought, well, maybe my race was done. Maybe my incident on the pit row caused damage or broke something in the back, but it didn't. And in fact, I'm pleased to say I did not incur any incident penalties, no 1Xs or 2Xs, and so this race is going to end up being an absolutely zero incident race for myself. But it kind of gives you a feel for what oval racing in iRacing in this series is like, and it's a good one. And I was going to mention that the one thing that iRacing does, as I get right tucked up right underneath that car, and by gosh, I'm going to make a pass on it, is oval racing. There's not, in fact, I'm going to say that iRacing right now pretty much is the sole sim racing service that has oval racing. The oval racing in R Factor 2 and Pack Cars 2, and this guy he just loses it coming off turn 4, and that opens the door for me. And I've got 2 laps to go. The next lap will be the white lap. Now, most of this race I ran in this position 7, and the blue car was running in position 6 when he lost it coming off of turn 4. And as I get into this turn, I'm thinking that the car that we're going to pass that's on the apron here, headed for the pits, this car right here, was in position 5 and did something, and as I cross the finish line, I'm going to end up in the 5th spot. So anyway, iRacing, to their credit, they do oval racing very, very well. And there you can see I finished 5th. I was 9th. I was rated 9th in this race, so I picked up a few spots, picked up a little iRating, so it was a good time. Hey, this is Sim Racer. May all your sim racing pursuits be enjoyable, and we will see you next time.